Welcome back, Raw reviewers, to another Raw review. We've got something a little bit special today. This is the Ion exclusive SH Figuarts Karu Shiba Hime Shinken Red, Princess Shinken Red, or Lauren, for those of you who are fans of samurai. Well, not go into that. Anyway, for those of you looking for a female red samurai ranger, this is pretty much your best bet. Link, of course, will be in the description. I got mine on Amazon, about 20 bucks, something like that. So first, we look at the box, shall we? Pretty standard, old school Figuarts box. This is pretty old after all, 2009 is the date of release. And of course, as always, I've gone to the trouble of popping the tape off of the side so we can slide that out. Throw that behind me. And here she is in the blister pack. If you'll give me a moment to pop that open, we will look at each individual. That was actually relatively easy. Individual components. Alrighty. Karu. Right there. And let's see. Can I get to... Of course I should be able to get to... Where you are, Alata. So, Hime Shinken Red and my custom. Just to give you a point of reference on size and scale, because she was a younger character in the show. As you can see, it's built from the same base body, so the standard female Sentai mold. The skirt design is a little bit different this time around than what was done with Binder Morphin. It's actually got the skirt material is actually a nice, pretty soft material, as you can see there, as opposed to, say, this one, which is pretty stiff, as you can see. Even if you don't have the paints on it, but you can see that's a lot easier to work with. And I popped the leg off. Of course I did. That happens with Figuarts. It's because of their ball sockets they have in the hips. Let's try and get it back on now. And this is new in box. Like when I got it, it was still in the plastic sealant above the top of it. Oh, we take a look there at the leg articulation. You can see how easy it is to pull this back. This leg just does not want to go back into its socket. There's the socket itself. Well, I can deal with that later. At least we have a chance to get a good look at the articulation here. As you can see here, it's got an interior ball joint. Pretty standard. It has a little tab on here because there is an alternate skirt piece, which will tab onto there for a different type of skirt. Double jointed knee. Swivel here. Pivot. Not terrible range of motion forward and back. You do get a little bit of ankle pivot, but not terribly much. That's about that. Try and see if I can extend it out to get more ankle pivot, but I don't think so. It's not the best range of articulation. Certainly, Alata here has a much better ankle pivot. And a toe action joint. Alright. This leg seems to be in much better shape, but as you can see, we can get it to go forward. I think I'm going to go a little bit further forward than that, but I don't want to test it. Wind up with no legs. Go back a decent amount. Skirt does flex. Now, pull back so you can see the torso articulation. Because you actually will pull this skirt off if you want to replace it with the alternate, which comes like that. And that's mainly for like poses that would stretch that plastic too much. And two little pieces here. Might as well look at that while we're here. And I knocked off her something or other. I am just knocking everything off of this figure. I am going to lose everything. There is the belt with the pseudophone right there in fold up form. Doesn't look like you can remove it, strangely enough, even though there's a pseudophone in expanded form. Yeah, because if you look inside, there isn't a pin. You can't actually just pull it off. Here's our skirt. So you can see here, there's little tabs here that you would work off. Those are going to be a pain to work with, aren't they? Like the ones you're not supposed to remove on the Mighty Morphin Figuarts. I'm not going to mess with that skirt because that does not look like it was well made. Alright, so let's look at our articulation of the torso. Well, we've got waist twist there. We've got some decent back and forth on the diaphragm. We technically have a bit of twist on the diaphragm. It's a little bit stiff. The sculpt, the painting does actually go all the way through. It is sculpted. Yep, fully sculpted. Even, it looks like, yeah, even the little Shiba crest here is sculpted. Now, I don't actually have any Shinken figures, so I don't know how this compares to them. Can't tell you that. Double jointed shoulder. A little bit of weirdness. But you can get pretty decent range. I feel like I can fold that back more and get more range. It just feels a bit frozen. Yeah, it just does not want to fold. We've got the standard cap and butterfly. Now, for those of you who are probably thinking, well, what about the dropping hip? Yeah, you can drop the hip. So you can get plenty of extended range that way. Standard double. Again, this one seems a bit frozen. There we go. There it goes. So there's the neck joint. You can see we've got full ball joint range of motion. Full range on the head. Again, I don't have the Shinken figure, so I can't say how the sculpt compares. Those are actually sculpted, those little lashes in the side. But is it just me, or does the shape look a little bit off? Everything on there is sculpted, folks, so it is SH Figuarts quality. I'm going to have to look to see what the heck I dropped earlier. She does come with a spin sword. It does have a little disc on here, which doesn't look like it can move, but there's a little disc and it's even painted. Give me a second, because this other item is really tiny. It's a really tiny folded out Shudophone. Now, for those of you who are doing this for a samurai display, Lauren did actually have the classic Samuraizer. Old school, as Mike called it. But that is not all. Because Koru here also has the Rekkai Santo. And I'm trying to see if you can actually fold it down into Orzo mode. You can't. So it doesn't go into bazooka mode, which is fine. Yeah, but looks like it is grooved, so you can throw in the discs here. And can I pop off the hidden disc? It doesn't look like I can pop off the hidden disc. However, the hidden disc does rotate. I'd show you her holding all this stuff, as we just saw her leg popped off. She comes with several hands. I'm trying to get to now. Here's one of them. A gestural hand. Another gestural hand. Another hand. And there are still 4 more hands, folks. That is a total of 8 hands, plus 2 fish it comes with. 10 hands in total. And that is all of her hands. Of course, she comes with 2 fist hands. I really don't hope I have to return this because it came out of the box and broke without me doing really anything. That kind of sucks. And yeah, that's everything that Lauren comes with, that Koru comes with. I think there's something else that fell, but... Oh, there it is, I see it. This was clipped onto the other side of her belt, and that holds the spin sword. Trying to get it there. There's some very small grooves you have to work it into. There it is. Very tiny grooves. Tiny black divot. May have put it on backwards. For now, that'll do. But you get the idea. You can put it on there. Might need to adjust it so you don't actually do the same mistakes that I have been doing. There we go. Now it's on her hip. More or less. It goes there, onto the hip. Clearly, I am having trouble with this figure. But that is Goru, Lauren. And our lovely red Shinken Ranger. Now for those of you out there, because I know it's going to be blasphemy to some people, but for customizers out there who are looking to make female Red Rangers, she is a decent base. I'll give you that. She's a standard Figuart, so she should be in proportion as we saw with Alata there. Athena here. So you could, in theory, if you want to use her, and she is only 20 bucks, you know, take a little bit of heat and pop off the arm here, and you can use that red shoulder, that red elbow joint, and you know, red arm. But of course, she's from Shinken, which means that they have black tights. So if you want to do a black ranger, you could use the joint in there. But in terms of other shows, if you want to do Go Ranger, her top half works well for Go Ranger because Go Ranger's top was all single color, top and bottom. Even the ladies, or lady on that team. I actually have my screen over here which has all of the Sentai teams, so I can quickly reference them. For Jaka, same thing. They are full red bodies, so you could definitely use the upper body for that. Let's see here. Next was Battle Fever J. They had a white base body for the most part, so she wouldn't really work if you want to do Battle Fever J. If you wanted to do Denjiman, they were mainly a red body, so definitely upper half would work for that. Let's see what else. We have, what was it, Live Man was the 3-man team. If you want to do Red Live, not Live Man, I probably think it was Live Man. But if you want to do that team, Sun Vulcan, that's what I'm thinking of, Sun Vulcan. If you want to do a female Sun Vulcan, red, again, upper half will work. If you wanted to do, what was that, Denjiman? Desiman? Bioman, that's what it is. I am trying to remember 40 teams of Sentai off the top of your head with only pictures to reference, people. So if you wanted to do Bioman, definitely you could use the top upper half here. They are, again, red and red. Even the ladies were well, pink and pink. Then we have Dynaman, Baseball Explosions. That one you might be able to work something with. In fact, if you wanted to, and you had yourself a Goseiger Figuart, Denjiman, Dynaman, the exploding guys, they had white pants. So you could definitely use a Goseiger female base for that, and then use the upper arms, upper torso for them because they were, well, no, actually, that really wouldn't work either. Any white ranger would work, though, because they have a red torso, but it was like baseball clothes, so I'll be when I edit this, there'll be pictures showing this right side by side. But they have white arms, so that wouldn't work. Let's see here. Flashman. So Flashman would work. They have a mix of color, white and mane on their arms, but you should definitely be able to use the reds here and here. Well, not here. Again, they used red on a base torso. So that wouldn't work. There's Changeman again. The Changeman's an interesting case because it's got white thighs on the ladies, but the actual panty area is like the swimsuit, so that would have been all red if you were going to do like a Rule 63. But the arms would definitely be viable. But you would basically need white for the lower level. And you would actually need a white torso as well. This upper diaphragm joint would have to be white. Let's see here. Mask Man. Again, Mask Man is white arms, red torso, red legs. So Koru here wouldn't work. 5-man. 5-man is again red torso, white arms, red legs. So you see that wouldn't work here. Live man, I think it is. And they're red torso, white arms, white legs. So that wouldn't work. Turbo Ranger is red arms, red legs, red torso with a little bit of white in there. So you could definitely use the arms for a Turbo Ranger. If you want to do... I'll put the picture here, but I can't remember their name off the top of my head. Doing pretty well, though. But there are red torso, red arms, red legs. You can definitely use the arms. Maybe even the torso, depending on how you like doing your customs. Gentleman! Red arms, red torso, white legs. So you could definitely use the arms for a Jet Eagle female, Rule 63. Zoo Ranger! I think that speaks for itself on how you could use what of what. So pretty much, yeah, upper torso. However, one advantage you would have here that none of the other teams that I am seeing here would actually be applicable, except for maybe Bioman, because they had a Black Ranger. Basically, any team that had a Black Ranger that has black legs, you could definitely use Koru for if you want to do a female Black Ranger. So that's what Changeman or Denziman, I think it is. And let's see, Mighty Morphin would be that. For Die Ranger, really you can only use the arms if you want to do a female Ryu Ranger. For Kaku Ranger, now here's an interesting one. For Kaku Ranger, since they have a Red Ranger and a Black Ranger, if you want to do a Rule 63 Red Ranger, you could definitely use the arms, because it's an all-red suit. And so they have a Black Ranger, it's all black suit, so you could definitely use the lower legs for that. Zeo, Ranger. Again, red, mostly red bodysuit, so upper body is fair game. Car Ranger, also known as Power Rangers Turbo. Again, mostly red bodysuit, so you could definitely use the upper body. Interestingly, if you want to do King Ranger, the Gold Ranger from Zeo, since it's a mostly black bodysuit, you could definitely use Koru here to make a female Gold Ranger. In space, again, mostly red bodysuit. So there's a Red Ranger and a Black Ranger there. You could definitely do, again, upper body, lower body. For if you want to do In Space or Mega Ranger, as it is known. Let's see. If you wanted to do Gingaman or Lost Galaxy, they have a white torso, but the arms and legs are their technical color. So definitely use the arms. If you want to do a Rule 63 Ginga Red, you could definitely use... Well, they don't have a Black Ranger. Well, you could do the Magnet Defender. If you want to do the Magnet Defender, this might be a good base for the legs for a female Magnet Defender. Light Speed Rescue, Go-Go V, Go-Go 5. They have a Red Ranger. It's a mostly red bodysuit with some white decaling on the chest. So you could definitely use the upper body. Lower body, of course, wouldn't be viable. I'm talking about in terms of not having to paint anything. Obviously, I mean... I turned a Pink Ranger into a Red Ranger, so you can do anything you want. But if you want to avoid painting things. Time Force, Time Ranger. They had two Red Rangers, so either the Quantum Ranger or the Red Ranger. You could definitely use the upper torso for that, since it's mostly red bodysuit. But of course, again, it's red below, so that won't work. Wild Force has both a Red Ranger and a Black Ranger. So you could definitely use the upper body for the Red Ranger, lower body for the Black Ranger. If you wanted to do Ninja Storm, which is Articulation, well, they had... now, this is an interesting case. If you were to do the main three, the Hurricaners, as opposed to the Kawaga Rangers, or however it was done, the bug guys. If you were going to do like Shane, if you're going to do Hurricane Red, upper torso is viable, lower torso not so much, because the lower torso on Hurricane's main team was color coordinated. if you're going to do the Kawaga Rangers, or God, I do not know anything off the top of my head, but if you're going to do like Hunter and Blake's counterparts, Hunter was crimson, so the color's a bit darker, but if you want to use the joints, you could definitely use the joints to have a female, you know, Crimson Thunder Ranger. And they have black pants, so you could actually use the lower body as well. Let's see, Dino Thunder. We have a Red Ranger and a Black Ranger. So again, its upper body would work, lower body would work for the Black Ranger. If you wanted to do, say, SPD, Deca Ranger, that presents an interesting case. You could probably use the upper torso for Deca Red, probably use the lower torso for Shadow Ranger. Mystic Force. So you could use the Mystic Force used white for their lower torsos on the ladies. So you could definitely, for Mystic Force, if you want, again, you could use a Goseiger figure if you had a Goseiger figure. For the upper torso, definitely you could use, you could use Koru here. And any, any figure you want that had white legs for the lower torso. So certainly take advantage of having that red skirt, though, which is always useful. If you wanted to go with Operation Overdrive, Bokenger, that one has both a Black Ranger and a Red Ranger. But the suits are kind of tricky. I mean, I've even seen the figure arts, and I mean, they have a split of red. They have a split of color and white. So you'd end up having a case where the knees just wouldn't match, unless you wanted to literally take them apart and reassemble them. So, I mean, you don't really get any good joint match for there because they'd have an outer strip. It's definitely going to be the trickiest of the bunch. If you want to do Geki Ranger, definitely. Geki Ranger's all red. There was no Black Ranger, but Geki Violet did have black pants. So you could definitely use the upper torso for Geki Red, lower torso for Geki Violet. Let's see. If you want to do RPM, RPM has a Black Ranger and a Red Ranger. So you could definitely use upper torso, lower torso combo. And then the next one it shows here is Samurai. Well, if you're going to do Samurai, you could definitely use the upper torso. No. If you want to use Samurai, you could do this. There's a full Samurai set. Alright, so the next one after Samurai is Goseiger, which we've been talking quite a bit about of using their legs for other things. For Goseiger, they have a Black Ranger and a Red Ranger. But their lower torso is all white. So you definitely would only be able to use the upper torso and only red. So you could make a female Troy, female Alata with the upper torso here. For Super Mega Force, aka Goseiger, if you want to do like a female Gokai change, this is actually perfect for a Gokaiger figure. Because the Gokaigers are a red top and black pants. So you literally could use this in its entirety. You'd have to resculpt, the arms and whatnot. But if you wanted to make a female Gokai Red, this will do you just fine. It will also work for any other of the Gokaigers' lower halves. So if you want to do Gokai Green, you've got the black lower legs. If you want to do Gokai Silver, you got the black lower legs. If you want to do Gokai Blue, you got the black lower legs. Pretty good there. Moving on to Go Busters. So Go Busters is in the same vein. This would be ideal for Go Busters custom. They have a red top, black legs. So again, you could also use the legs for, say, blue or silver. Gold might be a bit tricky. Beat Buster might be a bit tricky because Beat Buster, by his name, also has gold sculpting here. But it works pretty well for a Go Busters custom. Moving on to Koyuger, again, mostly single color torso, single color here, so you'd be able to use the upper half for Koyuger. Could use the lower half if there's a black Koyuger for that, so you could get two figures out of it. Then of course we have Tokyuja. So with Tokyuja, you again have mostly one color. Upper half will work. as for using the lower half, there's a couple of options. There was Tokyu Nanago from the VS movie, which was technically purple. You might be able to get away with using the black knees for that. There's also Dark Ichigo from towards the end of the series. So you could definitely use the black legs for that if you want to do a female Dark Ichigo. Ninninger. I don't know, Ninninger. You could probably work something with Ninninger, because Ninninger is... Let me pull up an image of Ninninger here. Ninjer. Yeah, so I thought... So they're mostly a single color body suit. See, this is how much I hate Ninninger. I can't even remember what their suits look like. But mostly red bodysuit, so you could definitely use the top half. There was no black Ninninger, so there really isn't anything you can do else with that. And of course, there's the current season out there, Goseiger, which is, I don't know. It's got the standard formula. Let me pull up a picture of it to remind myself. Zouger. I think Zouger is the same, though. I think it's mainly a single body color type anyway, if I remember correctly. So they have a Red Ranger, they have a Green Ranger. They don't really have a black... Well, technically there's black on the 6 Rangers they've already released pictures for. So maybe you might be able to do something with the 6th Ranger for that. But primarily you'd just be doing the Red Ranger. But that's about it. That's all 40 Super Sentais, if you want to use this to make a custom of any one of those. So I hope that was informative. I know it's a bit long-winded. Hope you got something out of it. Peace out.